Mrs. Paraskiva lives in Lapușnicul Mare village, Cara-Severin County. 13 years ago, her old home was destroyed in a fire. People from around the village and the local town hall had resigned a small home for her, and our association had finished it in the summer of 2007 with the help of our donors and volunteers. The people in the village have only praising words to say about her. She's taking care of her little nephew that was left with her ever since being little. Even though she's pretty old and she has health issues with her left foot, she is working in the village paid by day, raises 15 sheep and had birds in her yard, and she's cultivating her yard. Unfortunately, she has no pension. Therefore, she has to be able to sustain monthly with the social help of 114 lei. We've recently discovered that Mrs. Paraskiva's stove is very old. It's got cracks in it and is not longer producing heat. Also, we have found that the bed she's sleeping on is very old. It's placed on rocks and the springs have come out. In order to sleep well, Mrs. Paraskiva has put many clothes on the bed so the springs would not bother her. When we arrived to her place, the winter was ready to come. We found her cutting some firewood, the only ones she had left. From the social help of 114 lei per month, she would not have been able to afford buying her required firewood, a new stove that she would be able to cook on or get heat from, or a new bed.
Cu ocazia sărbătorilor de iarnă, cu ajutorul dumneavoastră, sponsorii și donatorii noștri.
Thanks to your help, Mrs. Paraskiva had received a new stove, a new bed, firewood for the whole winter, a consistent pack of groceries, and her bread had been paid for 1 month. Thanks to your help, Mrs. Paraskiva and her little nephew had been able to enjoy heat in their home on holidays. Because you've opened up your heart and felt together with the people in need, we thank you.
We are once more in Lapușnicul Mare, Cara-Severin County, with Mrs. Paraskiva, which you could see on our website because she was in need of our help. She required a stove, a bed, and especially firewood. Mrs. Paraskiva has no pension. She works hard. People in the village know her as a very hard-working woman. I am able to confirm this. Unfortunately, like I said, she has no pension, but a special assistance income of 142 RON. It is impossible to her to buy every year's firewood. She can barely manage to live out of that amount buying groceries. We've made a call out to you, our potential sponsors and donors, in order to help Mrs. Paraskiva due to winter holidays, to help her buy a bed, a stove, and especially firewood. We thank you that you have answered to our call and that you have helped Mrs. Paraskiva to obtain her 3 greatest needs: a stove, a bed, and firewood. Behind me and to my right, you can see a part of this firewood that were bought. They've been brought approximately 1 week ago, and 2 more carriages will be in the following weeks to bring firewood that was and will be bought. Mrs. Paraskiva, I'd like you to confirm the fact, and I personally will come with you to a gentleman in the village that you know very well. That is dealing with firewood, and we will pay for both the firewood that was already brought here and the ones that are going to be brought. Therefore, Mrs. Paraskiva, due to your help, we'll have all the firewood necessary for all winter. It's very cold out here. If I recall correctly, last night when I've been here, it was 11 degrees Celsius. It's very cold, so Mrs. Paraskiva, now you will have all the firewood you need. We wish you a happy new year and enjoy your holidays. Mrs. Paraskiva from Lapușnicul Mare, Cara-Severin County, is one of 400 people that had received groceries from us due to winter holidays. That is a consistent package of groceries so she could enjoy the holidays now that they are to come. We wish to thank those that made it possible for Mrs. Paraskiva and her nephew and all the families that we have visited and we will visit to have this consistent package of groceries. We thank you much and we wish you everyone happy holidays. Along the firewood that Mrs. Paraskiva needed for the winter, she had a very old and broken bed. Springs were coming out of it and would bother her and not let her sleep. I've seen it myself. It did not even have any supports. It was standing on some rocks. But today, due to your help, our sponsors and donors, Mrs. Paraskiva has a new two-person coach. It is for two persons because Mrs. Paraskiva is taking care of a little nephew and we hope, Mrs. Paraskiva, that this coach will be useful to you and that you would have a good and resting sleep. At the same time, we want to thank those who have helped Mrs. Paraskiva have this coach.
Au ajutat-o pe doamna Paraschiva să poată avea această canapea.
Due to winter's holiday, Mrs. Paraskiva had also received a stove. As I was telling you, she had a very old stove that was not able to keep up. It wasn't producing any heat, she couldn't cook on it, and it was all broken and was leaking smoke. As you can see, the walls have turned black because of old stove. So, we thought of making her happy due to winter holidays, buying her a new stove that would produce heat, one that she would be able to cook on and would help her enjoy the years that she has yet to live. So, thanks to your help, we have managed to buy this stove for Mrs. Paraskiva. It is a new stove that we have brought due to winter holidays, and we'd like to thank those who have helped Mrs. Paraskiva to have this new stove. Mrs. Paraskiva, do you have a thanking message to those who have helped you with the groceries or the stove or the bed or the firewood? I want to thank from my soul to all those that have helped me this winter because I was not able to buy any wood from my social aid income.
Asta de iarnă pentru că eu n-am avut posibilitatea ca să-mi cumpăr iarnă din micul meu ajutor că abia am ajuns.
I am barely able to obtain my daily bread, and even that I cannot buy all the time. And I wish to thank everyone that thought about and have offered their help to me and gifted me all of this. I wish that they would happily live many years with God. Those of you that wish to help poor families can do it donating funds in bank accounts that belong to our association.